Yeah, no, when we met last Thursday, and I had that weird question about Caroline, whether the space above her garage was finished. We were trying to figure out how we could relocate so that my daughter and the grandkids and my son-in-law could all quarantine for 14 days. And this tent turned out to be a pretty good option. So, hey, Sydney.
Hi, Mr. Lavender.
Yeah, I had to shave in a bucket this morning, so I apologize for somewhat scruffy appearance. But it's kind of fun. It's kind of an adventure. We got 2 weeks of hanging out here with dogs. So, okay, Caroline, Sydney, whom are we missing? Beck? No.
Winner.
Who else? I should have it. Okay.
Chloe.
Chloe's coming.
Chloe's coming? Okay. So anyway, what I want to do today, again, we're kind of in a holding pattern. Today's 31st. We got 3 more days before ostensibly, hey, Christian, 3 more days before, hey, Lily, ostensibly the College Board releases some more information about this exam. They did, hey, Nick, they did, hey, Chloe, they did, appreciate you guys. Such a gorgeous day. I really appreciate you guys signing on. We're not going to be more than about half an hour, 40 minutes today, so it won't be the full block. But so while we wait, again, I'm hoping that the argumentative essay is going to be the one question. Once we know, come the 3rd, we can be a little more focused in our prep. However, the College Board did send me a link, which I may link to you. I don't think they're that great. I haven't watched them all, but the College Board released, maybe you guys have gotten alerts about this, but they released 3 videos. They're all on the rhetorical analysis essay, question 2. And so I don't know if that's a clue that the rhetorical analysis is going to be the essay that you guys are going to write. Again, I just think it would make sense that
all right.
I think it would make sense if
Let's talk.
What's that?
Great afternoon.
Okay, whoever back there can mute your
Christian, mute your mic.
Christian, is
What?
that you? Maybe you want to mute
It is me.
Christian. Yeah, okay.
I'm not on mute.
No, but if you did, we might not hear it. I don't know what's in the background. It's okay. Not a big deal. But anyway, so we don't know what the question is yet. I'm hoping it'll be the argumentative essay. There's been a lot of controversy. I don't know if you guys, did Jonah share with any of you that article about, Trevor Packer, who's the head of the
Yeah,
AP
we
program?
talked about it during.
What's that, Sydney?
We talked about the article during Gov today.
Oh yeah, because I sent it to Boykin. So yeah, so I mean, Open Note does not help us the way it would in like Gov or Chem or something like that, or even calculus. But if once we find out what the question is, we might talk about ways to, for example, if it's the rhetorical analysis, which is what we're going to talk about today, then yeah, maybe it'd be good to, have those, rhetorical devices terms, the rhetorical pyramid and triangle, sorry, not pyramid, triangle, download it. Frankly, though, you only have 45 minutes to write. And as I hope was evident in those samples we looked at wait, did we not look at the samples? Yeah, we did. Do we go over the scored essays?
No.
Yeah, we looked at samples.
Yeah, we looked at, okay, I'm sorry.
Caroline, are you
Sorry,
really
Josh, yeah.
saying that?
No, it's just, I can't even remember what day it is these days.
Indeed, I am.
So anyway, you only have the 45 minutes, and as those samples showed, length matters. So I wouldn't want a situation where, even those open notes, which might even mean open internet, you could, for example, if you got a question, as we're going to look at today, about a letter written by Mahatma Gandhi, that you wouldn't waste 10 or 15 minutes Googling Gandhi and trying to find out stuff about the situation, because that's going to cut into time. I mean, you want to get into, you already have to spend, probably 6, 8, 10 minutes reading and annotating, although it's going to be hard to annotate online. Although you guys can probably figure out a way to do it. That's something we should look into. But you're going to spend the 8 to 10 minutes reading the passage. And so you're already, down to 35, 30 minutes to write the essay. So I don't think the open note thing is going to be, a game changer or anything for us. Have you guys heard anything else? Have you been receiving stuff from the College Board? Often they bypass us teachers and send like the survey and send stuff straight to you. There's been a big push, I know, to cancel the exams altogether. I don't think that's going to happen. Grace yesterday had a good question. If it's a 45-minute exam as opposed to a 3-hour and 15-minute exam, are you guys going to get some sort of refund? Which I think sounds reasonable, but probably unlikely. I don't know. What else? So anyway, let's take a look. Here's what I want to do. I want to look together at a prompt. I'm going to throw you into breakout rooms again. We're going to read. Lucy, hey Lucy, how you doing? Hey Lucy, thanks for joining us.
Hi.
How you doing? Yeah, sorry about the background here. As you can hear later, we've moved into a tent just for shits and giggles. But, anyway, so we're going to look at a prompt. We're going to read the opening prompt together. I'm going to throw you guys into breakout rooms for 15 minutes. Then we're going to reconvene as a class. We're not going to scatter this time. We're going to reconvene in a class, and hopefully each group can highlight some of the points that you would be making. Do you guys feel up to writing is it helpful to you to actually write something? I think it probably is. Do you want to write a full 40-minute essay for Thursday?
Not really.
What, like a time 40-minute essay?
Yeah, just get your yoga timer out or your egg timer or something and punch 45 minutes and write a responses. Or here's what we could do. Why don't we, and I haven't just posted a discussion blog yet. Some of you, by the way, haven't responded to the last one. You still need to, thanks to those of you who have. But anyway,
What?
I will post a discussion blog. And what I'd like to do is have you guys, after today's discussion, we'll reconvene, log on to that at some time between now and Thursday. And just kind of do a bullet list of things you would talk about. Might be diction, it might be audience purpose, it might be tone, it might be, just kind of highlight specific phrases. So don't write an essay, but just kind of write notes, post notes about the things you would talk about in an essay. Well, let's hold off writing a full-on essay until we again, hopefully, what is today's 31st, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, so 3rd's Friday. Once we hear next week, we can be a little more focused, a little more purposeful in our preparation. It's important to remember with the rhetorical analysis essay, you guys are discussing another writer's rhetorical strategies. That really means nothing more than remembering that rhetorical triangle: speaker, audience, and purpose. And trying to point to things that show, first of all, you're going to identify what the argument is. What is the speaker trying to convince his or her audience of? And then point to specific things being done in language that you can argue, the writer is doing in an effort to advance his or her case. So let me go ahead. That clear? Pretty clear? Yeah. So let me go ahead, and I've got this prompt. Unfortunately, see, my internet's going kind of weird. Can you guys see that? Can you guys see this screen? Or
Yeah.
was your page great? So this is a version of the rhetorical analysis, which once we break into breakout rooms, just have one of you go ahead and pull that up and share that letter. Let me share it together. Unfortunately, it was a PDF. I had to convert into a Word document. It's a little funky to lay out, but it's going to work as far as just being able to read the letter. Let me find. Here we go. share this. So this is the actual prompt. Let me go up to the top here. I'm not going to read the essay. So you guys are going to read the essay together. You take about 15 minutes in breakout rooms.
Oh.
The prompt is this. And the nice thing is I think that on Thursday, when we look at some scored samples.
Why?
What's that? What's that, Caroline? Caroline, where are you? Are you up in the
I'm
mountains?
skiing right now. I'm on 9 right now.
That's excellent.
Oh, wait.
Um,
If I can
Kyle,
flip the camera.
No,
I can.
milk run, or did you pussy take teacher out?
Kyle's hiking up 4. I think he's gonna bomb down to Carhenge. Anyway, that's great. Good for you.
Oh, nice.
No. So this prompt is from 2019. So the good thing is I think they've rescored these samples according to the new rubric. So when we look at some scored samples, when we look at what the notes that you're making on your discussion blog as how you would respond to this if you actually wrote an essay, and then we look at scored samples, we'll be able to do that in the context of the new rubric, which should be helpful. But the prompt is this. In 1930, Mohandas Mahatma Gandhi led a non-violent march in India. We see you doing nothing but disobedience here. In India, protesting Britain's colonial monopoly on taxation of an essential resource, salt. The Salt March, as it came to be known, was a triggering moment for the larger civil disobedience movement that eventually won India independence from Britain in 1947. Shortly before the Salt March, Gandhi had written to Viceroy Lord Irwin, the representative of the British Crown in India. The passage below is the conclusion of that letter. Read the passage carefully, then in a well-written essay, analyze the rhetorical choices Gandhi makes to present his case to Lord Irwin. So what you guys, as you read this passage together, and what you ought to do is just, when I break into your breakout rooms, you should, again, assign one person to pull it up on the screen, and that person or one other person in the group can actually read through it, and then stop yourselves. Imagine you're actually reading this during the exam. Stop yourself whenever you come to something that you would ordinarily underline if you had a hard copy, and talk about what's being done in language there with relation to the speaker, Gandhi, who's leading a nonviolent protest, who is, he's representing a colonized people, India, as he'll say in the letter, a country that's that's much larger than Britain. He's writing to the representative of the British government, the British Crown, the Lord Viceroy. What is the Lord Viceroy thinking? What assumptions is Gandhi going to make about what the Lord Viceroy's stance is, and so how is he going to structure his argument to appeal to that particular audience? So these are things you can look at. And then what's the tone of this? Is he being obsequious? Is he being strident? Is he being threatening? And if he's being, for example, threatening or obsequious or whatever, where do we see that specifically in the language? So this is the kind of stuff that you want to look at. You can anything, you can look for analogies, look for particular syntax or word choice, look for any structure stuff. Again, you can't just point out rhetorical strategies like prolepsis or something unless you can connect it to how Gandhi is using that to make his argument. But of course, first you got to figure out what the argument is as you read this together. So it's 12:11. I don't want to keep you guys too long. I don't want Caroline to freeze up there on 9. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you in breakout rooms. Let's take 10, 12 minutes to read through the letter. One of you will pull it up on the Schoology page, share it with the others, read it aloud together. Don't just read it silently, and talk about what's being done in language. Okay, does that make sense? Any questions? Christian, yeah? Christian, yeah?
No. Are we going to be responding to this in a group discussion afterwards?
I think
Yeah.
I got it.
We're going to reconvene at about 12:20 or 12:25. I'll come check in with you guys. We're going to reconvene, and for about 5 minutes, we're going to talk about the things that we might address in our essay, and then you guys are going to log on to the discussion blog which won't be posted until later this afternoon. And you will make a list. You can read the essay, read the letter again, and make a list, just kind of a bullet list of the things you think you'd talk about. Okay? Is that pretty clear? Let's go break out. How many?
Yeah, all right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I'll do 5. You want 3 or 4? Let's do 3. 3 in a room. So we'll go to boom, boom, boom. 5 rooms. So again, don't leave. Come back to. I'll send you a signal when we can all reconvene. We'll check in for another 5-10 minutes, and then I'll let you guys roll. Okay. So go ahead and look, Lily. That's good. Okay. Go ahead and look for your invitation. Just click on that, and you can go on into the breakout rooms, and I'll come around and check on you guys. All righty. Josh, did you not get an invitation? Huh. Kat, you didn't get an invitation? Oh, there's Josh. Okay. Cammy, Kat, it's not working for you? Chloe, go ahead and click on that link. Great. Kat, do you not see that link, Kat? Kat, go ahead and turn your mic on so I can hear you. Are you not seeing that link? Kat, have you just left? I bet Kat is just wandering around. Caroline, this can be tough, Caroline, with you on a phone. Maybe have Greg pull it up. Kat should be joining your group, but I think she probably turned her screen off and just wandered away. So hopefully she'll be joining you shortly. But Greg, you might want to turn your camera on and go ahead and share the screen.
Okay, I'll share it.
And then pull it up on Schoology. You have to have Schoology open before you share.
Okay.
So, okay, I'll come back in a bit and see if it's working.
All right.
Caroline, this is so funny. Oh, I should stop.